Hi, welcome everybody. My name's Tim.Digital and it is very exciting to bring you this webinar topic today. And we're going to be having a look at our website. We're really going to be sort of putting that fuel in, and we're going to be turning up the volume and making it work harder. Or for those that haven't got a website, we're going to take you down a path to prepare, I guess, a design brief in one respect to get a website. So we've got a lot of people in the room today. It's pretty exciting. There's a lot of people from agriculture. So I'm going to be bringing in some examples, if I can, to do with agriculture. But your job is to sit back, relax. Hopefully you've got a coffee. But I will ask you, grab a pen and a piece of paper, because you're going to be writing a few notes as I work through this webinar. And at the end, I'm going to be asking you to write down some actions that you want to do moving forward. So make sure that you've got a pen and paper, potentially a coffee, maybe you've got a muffin, and you're ready to learn. So without further ado, we've got a 40-minute session coming up. So let's get stuck straight into it. So I'm going to be screen sharing now and bringing up the presentation. Okay, so we're talking website optimization 101. It is important. Some people haven't met me before. Some have attended my workshops, but who am I? So I am a digital crusader. So what I mean by that is I'm out there fighting in the digital world to bring you back all of the goodness. Now, I'm also an educator. I work at La Trobe University teaching marketing. But if you really ask me, what really inspires me is when I have business owners or people from organizations that want to grow their business online. I'm an entrepreneur. I've started and sold my own business. So for those business operators out there, I understand the highs and the lows of being a small business owner. But most of all, I'm a regional advocate. So I love rural, regional, remote Australia, the red dirt, the agriculture, you know, even just sometimes the stillness that this life can offer us. So that's who I am. Without further ado, it's not the Tim.Digital show, it's your show. So we need to start learning some of the material. So we're talking online marketing, okay? And over the coming months, I will be bringing to you some webinars, and you'll be able to jump in at any stage, or you'll be able to continue the journey from today all the way through. So when I talk online marketing, these are the topics that I delve into. And today we're actually focusing in on websites. So there'll be a webinar on all of the blue circles. So search engine optimization, social media, customer relationship management tools, the mobile world, selling online, and learning online. Today's focus, websites. So what are we going to be learning today? Well, here are the learning objectives. First of all, we're going to be looking at what is a website. I know it sounds basic, but that's where we're going to start. And then after that, we're going to be sort of understanding what a website can do for you. From there, we want to improve your website performance. So I'm going to give you some tips and tricks, and then you can go back and assess your current website, or if you're building a new website, you'll be able to use that. And then from there, we're going to be learning how to measure success. So with all the work we put in, with all your website up on the web, how do we know if it's even working? So that's what we're going to be learning. So sit back and relax, and let's get into it. So an action plan. At the end, you're going to be looking at some of the topics. I call them low-hanging fruit. So when I start throwing some ideas your way, and you start scribbling down, hey, I should look at that, or gee, I could probably do with that, you'll probably have half a dozen, maybe 10, 15, you could even have 50 ideas. But what I want you to look for is the low-hanging fruit. What is easy to fix? What doesn't cost you too much money? And what will have the biggest impact? And then you'll create a priority list. So you'll have 3 things potentially to do to your own website after this session. but my intention is to help you improve your online marketing. So first of all, we need to think about what is a website. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to poll the audience, and I would like you to tell me what is a website. So I'm going to load that up now. And I'd like you to choose what you believe a website is. So grab your mouse. If you're sitting on an iPad, or if you're sitting on a smartphone, see if you can click the button and choose what you believe is the information source. Okay, so we might be having some technical difficulties. We haven't had anyone clicking on the poll yet. I wonder whether or not this is the first time I'm using this software, guys. So it may be a user error on my behalf. So let's just jump into the chat room. Hi, everyone. Just wondering, are you able to see that? Bit of a shame. All right. Well, what we'll do is I'll overcome that technical glitch. I am using a new bit of software. It doesn't seem to be working today in terms of the polling. So all good. I'll help you out. Let's go back to the PowerPoint and let's talk about what a website is. So really, everybody, a website can be many things. A website can be an information source. Okay, so people can go on and get information. It's also a marketing tool. So a marketing tool means, well, it can provide you with branding, as in, you know, you can grow your image online. It's also great for lead generation. So marketing is getting the phone to ring, getting inquiries to come through. So certainly a website's great for that. See, a website's also a sales tool. Sales is actually closing the deal, getting the money, buying the ticket, booking the room. So a website is a sales tool, but it also can be an administration tool. So what I mean by administration is you could have members renewing their membership each year. You could have customers updating their contact details when they move house. So a website is not just a brochure. It can be many, many things. In fact, it can even service your existing customers. So if you've got members or customers, you can use your website to service them as you've got them. So think of a website not just as a brochure, you know, having an About Us page and a gallery and a contact page. Look, those days are almost gone. A website is organic, it's living, and it services new and existing customers. So really, a website is all of the above. As we head down the road to optimize our website, and remember, that's the topic of today, we need to define what we want the website to do. So I call this defining your website goals. So what we need to be able to do is to say, what do we want the website to achieve for our business or organization? So for example, you may want the website to generate leads. So a lead is a phone call, is an email, is an inquiry. If you've got a shop or a business or a farm gate, it's someone turning up to your establishment. So a website can help you generate leads. Now you might have another goal, like you want your website to help you increase sales. You might be selling tickets, you might be selling a product. So you want your website to grow your sales, or you may want your website to grow your database. You may want people to subscribe to your newsletter, but you want to grab, 500 more people into your database so you can market to them. In fact, your website could help you decrease overheads. So when I say decrease overheads, I mean, it can lower the amount of work you need to do. It can make you more efficient. You know, you don't have to print and fax, and sometimes you don't even have to turn up to somewhere. You can do it online. You may want the website to improve your customer service. So you want to build a website to keep your customers happier and to keep them coming back. So it's really, really important that you define your goals. So I would like you to grab a pen, get your piece of paper, and if you haven't already, I want you to choose 1 or 2 goals that you believe your website should achieve for you. So you can grab some of mine, that's fine, but you may have some other ones. So spend 1 minute now just jotting that out. Okay, well done. Okay, now we've got our goals established. What we really want to do is we want to create action to help us achieve that goal. So we want our website visitors to perform an action that helps us achieve our goal. Let me demonstrate. So these are called calls to action, and it's getting people to do something that you want them to do. Now, you can have different goals for different pages. So your home page may have a different goal than, say, your calendar page or your product page or your service page. So you define a goal that you want the page to do, and you develop calls to action around that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to have a look at 2 websites in particular. First of all, we're going to be looking at Lockbourne Insurance, and then we're going to be looking at the Royal Melbourne Show. So let's do that. So let's have a look here at Lockbourne Insurance. I don't know whether or not you can see the call to action here. Have a look over this site and see what this company is trying to get you to do. Now, if you guessed request a quote, then you're right on the money. This is definitely trying to get you to request a quote, and they're getting you to fill out all the details and then make an inquiry. Excellent. So that's what I mean by request a quote. Let's have a look at the Royal Melbourne Show. Here's the Royal Melbourne Show. Beautiful, stunning looking website with photography. But what's the call to action? Now, hopefully people can see that. I'm not going to go back out to the audience today, probably due to some technical issues. So I think it's easier if I just let you think for yourself. But can you see the call to action? That's right. If you chose buy tickets, then you're right on the money. This is the call to action. Excellent. So what you need to do is you need to challenge your own website. You need to make sure you've got calls to action to get people to do things that you want them to do. Excellent. Now, when you create a call to action, these are some of the things that you could get people to do. You could get them to buy a ticket. That's a great call to action. That'll certainly help you grow your sales. Or you might want them to call you or pick up the phone. Now, also, you may want them to fill out a form. It could be a membership form. It could be a booking form, a request a quote, a sponsorship form. You may want them to fill out a form, or maybe you want them to share your content to their social media. So you would ask them to share, like, or comment, so then they can then share the love through their social channels. Or maybe you want them to follow you on social media. So, follow us, subscribe, share, fill out the form, give us a call. These are call to actions. It takes a website from being passive to action orientated. So this is what I need you to do. I need you to spend 30 seconds now, start to think about, the calls to action that you want people to do on your site. Do you want them to pick up the phone? Maybe. Do you want them to fill out a form? So grab a pen, grab a piece of paper, and start jotting these ideas down. We've suddenly got business goals, and now you've got calls to action. You're making your website work harder. You're optimizing your website. Okay? Spend a couple of minutes doing that. Okay, I hope you're enjoying the journey, and we're up to the next stage of making our website work harder. It's called defining your website visitors. So we really want to know who's landing on our website. We really want to know who they are so we can service their needs. Really important part of website optimization. So you can do this in many different ways. I've picked out 2 ways for today's webinar. So the first one is you can describe your customers through segmentation, and you can describe the demographics. So that's who they are. They could be a school, they could be the media, they could be a customer, they could be a male, a female, a child, a family, a tourist, a local, a farmer. They could be someone from Mars. Either way, you have to choose and define who they are. Now, once you've defined who they are, think about where they're from. This is a great way to service their needs. Are they from out of town? Are they local? Are they 50 kilometers from your farm gate? Are they from New South Wales? Where are these people located? And then the last one is called psychographics. This is why they come to your show, why they buy your product. This is why they get their hair cut with you. This is the why. So you can define your customers by who, where, and why. And as a result, you can then provide gateways, I call them doors, for them to click on. So for example, I'll just show you one here. This is just on the fly at the minute. At Workspace Australia, see, they've done some customer segmentation, and they want people from business to come through here. They want people from local government authorities to come through here, and they want the young ones to come through here. Okay, so they've defined their audience, and as a result, they've provided them with clean, easy to read navigation to really help their different customer demographics. But I reckon this way is a classic. See, you can meet the needs of your customers' personalities. So work with me on this one. Here we go. So this is a bull. I think we all know that. And you can have customers that have a personality of a bull. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, what happens is if you think of a bull, they're quite brutal. They're always in a rush. The customer wants it now. A bull is always late or just doesn't really care too much about price, has just arrived, it's 5 to 5, and the bull wants it now. Some of you may know some people that are bulls. Now the next segmentation is the peacock. Now the peacock wants people to look at them. They're a bit of a show off. They kind of want the wow factor. So the peacock, is potentially one of your customers. Now think about the owl. The owl, the knowledgeable one, the one that asks lots of questions. The owl, the one that wants to know everything. And then, what about the little squirrel? Now, the little squirrels, if you think about a little squirrel, they're always nervous. They're always running around, looking over their shoulder, but they're gathering nuts for the winter and they're sort of storing them away. They're sort of non-committal, but they could potentially be a really good long-term customer if you can just reassure them. So there's 4 personalities. So if we put those 4 personalities together, we have to work out a way for someone to click on the bull or someone to click on the peacock. Really what I'm trying to show is how can you service the bull, the peacock, the owl and the squirrel all on one website? Well, what you can do is you can service or meet the needs. See, have a look at this. The bull, buy now, online tickets. You will look amazing. The peacock would love that one. The owl, it's locally grown, locally operated. Hey, watch this video and you'll learn more. And what about the squirrel? 30-day money back guarantee. Ask us for details. So that's what I mean by servicing the personalities of your customers. So when you go to design your website, think about who's landing on it and think back to the bull, the squirrel, the owl, and the peacock. Okay, we're going to get a little bit technical now. So bear with me, but it's very, very important to understand this. See, in the web world, we have people using different devices. Everything from a smartphone to a tablet, iPad, laptop, desktop, smart TV. People are going to be viewing your website on different devices. So you have to understand that. And in the web world, you are able to create a website that can service the needs of the different website visitors as they visit you on a laptop, or you can service them differently if they are on an iPad or a smartphone. So what I mean by this is you can have one website that can meet the needs of your customers no matter what screen size they're viewing you on. See, a mobile visitor, and let me just talk before I get onto the technical side, I just want you to remember the word responsive. Okay, so developing a responsive website design is crucial. So what I'll do is I'll quickly show you it so you can get a feel for what responsive is. This is a desktop that you're currently looking at. So this is a Chuka Moama. So I can have a little look here and scroll through it, and it's quite well laid out for the old desktop visitor. But watch this. If I slide this in, it will adjust. It will start popping and it will start reformatting itself. And this one here would be what the mobile visitor would experience. So this is responding to the screen size it is being viewed upon. All right, so it keeps getting bigger and bigger as it has more real estate to play with. Responsive design, everybody. So you need to service the needs of the mobile visitor, and you need to start thinking about what features you believe the mobile visitor would want. So think about it. If they're at the show, what do they want? If they're if they're driving around and trying to find you, what do they want? See, the mobile visitor wants different things. They've got less time normally. So they probably want your phone number. They'll probably definitely want a location map. Maybe they're using their mobile phone for navigation. And if you're running an event, well, maybe they'd like to know the timetable or the event schedule. They're already in location and they just want to know more. So you can actually create a mobile website that is different to your desktop site by using responsive design. Now we're moving on to another topic now, and we're making our website work harder for us. We're optimizing our website. And when we're optimizing our website, we really want to be generating more leads. Okay, we want more people to find it. That's another thing we need to consider. It's known as search engine optimization, and to optimize your site, you should be making it search engine friendly. So search engine friendly means looking for the keywords your customers are going to be searching for you in Google. So what I mean by that is you need to start thinking about, all right, if your customers are sitting in front of the computer or they're on their smartphone, you need to start thinking about, all right, what are the keywords that they're typing in Google to find you? So how do you find that out? Well, I'm running an SEO webinar, so I'll dive in a lot deeper in that webinar. But look, to make it really easy for you, you just need to ask them. All right, you need to talk to them and say, hey, look, I'm interested in finding more of you. What would you type in Google to find me? And it's amazing what information you get. So think about what are the keywords they're typing, and then in later webinars, I'll teach you what to do with them. But to keep things rolling forward today, you need to invest in what's called on-page SEO. This is optimizing your web page to be found for the keywords you're targeting. And you also need to do off-page SEO. This is known as backlinking. This is getting people to link to your website. And then you need to do some social media. So it's the combination of all of those four things that will help optimize your website. And as a result, you will have an increased chance of being found in Google when people type the keywords that they're trying to find. So make sure that you attend the SEO webinar if you're interested in generating more leads from Google. Now, the next topic is social media integration. And social media is the big thing. This is the fun thing. It can be also quite serious. But at the end of the day, integrating it back into your website is gold. So what I mean by that is that I'll just put all these up so I can read them. It's really important that you have fresh content on your site. It helps for SEO. So social media can help you with that. It kind of ties everything back together as well. So you can ask people to like and share your content, but you can also have social feeds. So it's much, much easier when I'm talking about this topic to actually visit a website to show you how it all works. Now, I'm going to introduce you to ashoneil.com. Ash is one of my cousins. He is a website designer, a photographer. He also produces some amazing wood art. And he's got a fantastic website that he has up and running. So let's just take a little look at his website, ashoneil.com. So here we are. So nice and clean. Everything's nice and neat. It's got some call to actions, which is great. Buy, follow, subscribe. But what I really wanted to talk about was his social page. Remember how I said you can have social feeds? Well, this is a social feed. He is updating his social media and he is feeding it back to his webpage. He's got his Facebook feed, he's got Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest. Now, I'm logged in as my business in Facebook, hence why I can't see the Facebook feed. But if I was logged into my personal profile, I would definitely see that there. Remember I talked about likes, shares, and follows? Well, up here, this links to his current social media channels. So he's asking you to go along there. Now, if he had a blog article, I haven't actually ever gone in and had a look at this small little section, but in blogs, you can ask people to share it. Let's see if he's done that. There we go. Good on you, Ash. So you can tweet about this, you can like it. So I'll click like, and what that's doing now is that's liking it and sending that to my social media. So that's what I mean by social media integration. So think about how you can bring social media feeds back to your website to increase SEO, generate some fresh content, and to share the love. Okay, I'm up to notable mentions now. So we're sort of driving this home, and these are some of the ones that I want you to consider as well. The first thing is visual design. Keep things clean, lots of white space, and don't have too many colors and don't have too many fonts. Visual design is really important, and make sure it's really, really easy to navigate. So, don't be, ambiguous with your menu, and don't make it too hard for people to find things. Put your products and services up front. So if you're selling something, let people know what you're selling. If you've got services, list them. Make sure you don't hide them. And think about integration as well, not just with social media, but if someone buys from your store, if someone buys a ticket, can that integrate with your accounting software? If your stock management software is running and you've got a point of sale, just say you're selling something at a counter, can that integrate with your website shopping cart? Very, very important you think of integration. And you must think about accessibility. So people that have got vision impairment or people that are deaf, you can, do certain things to improve the website, increase font size, and there's some great things to learn. Just look up AAA, I believe it is, for accessibility, and you can have a look at how to make your website accessible. So how do you measure whether or not your website has been successful? How do you actually know that all the effort that you've put in really worked? Well, there's a few ways you can do it, but one of the ways that I recommend is to ask your customers, ask your members, hey, how did you find out about us? Or, hey, what did you think of our website? And so ask them. See, if they Googled you, landed on your website and purchased a ticket, bingo, your website's working, but you need to find out how they did that. Now, sometimes you can't ask your customers, you need to track them. And there's a fantastic piece of software called Google Analytics. So Google Analytics is a free piece of code that you put on your website. You ask your website designer to do it if you don't know how, and you can generate a custom report each week or each month. And then you can find out how successful your website is. How many visitors you've had. Have they visited you on a mobile? Are they from Australia or are they from China? Are they from Bendigo or are they from Brisbane? So Google Analytics is something that I highly recommend you get in your website. Now, some websites have integrated analytics. It means it comes with the software that is used to build and edit your site. So these are the three ways that you can look at how your website is performing. It's not a black hole, and you can get some awesome results by looking at analytics. All right, so now it's time to create action, okay? It's a matter of rolling up your sleeves and taking a bit of time. I want you to think about the things that you want to do. Do you want to review your website? Do you want to create a new design brief based on what you've learned today? Do you feel like you need to maybe have a conversation with your existing or a new web developer and say, look, I really want to make my website work harder, and here are my goals, and here are my call to actions, and these are the customers that I'm servicing, and I really need you to help me build my website better, okay? Or, maybe you need to get more training. So what I want you to do is I want you to just take a breath. Unlike me, I seem to be able to talk underwater. But at the end of the day, grab a pen, go back to some of those things that you learned and think, right, what were the low-hanging fruits? Yeah, my website really, I don't reckon it's got any call to actions. I actually don't even think that I've defined what I want my website to do. So I want you to go back now and spend a couple of minutes revisiting all of the material. So I'm going to help you by just walking you through some of the topics. So starting at the top, we talked about website goals, remember? And we want our website to achieve something for our business or our organization. So do you want to generate more leads? Do you want to grow sales? Now, after that, we deep dived into creating calls to action. Do you want them to follow you on social media? Do you want them to buy a ticket? Now, after that, we defined our customers. Remember that? We had a look at the demographics, the geographics, and the psychographics, and we thought about maybe putting different doors on our website so they could go through the doors. But then we looked at customers or members' personality, the bull, the peacock, the owl, and the squirrel. Now, once we defined our customers, we then got a little bit more technical, and we started talking about search. It actually was about mobile, wasn't it? So we talked about the different people visiting your website on mobile devices and laptops and iPads and even kicking back on their desktop. How can you service their needs? Is your website responsive? Now, after that, we talked about search engine optimization. Remember, we talked about finding the keywords, and then we could do on-page, off-page, and social media integration to increase our website's chances of being found. So maybe you need to invest time in identifying the keywords. After that, we looked at social media. We talked about integrating social feeds back into the website. Then we talked about sharing and following, and we had buttons on our site that they could then share your content on their social media. And then after that, we looked at some notable mentions. We looked at visual design, and we talked about, making sure that things aren't cluttered and nice open space. We made sure that things were easy to navigate. The menu was easy to understand. And then we talked about having our products and services front and center. We then talked about integrating. So maybe we have an accounting software that we want to integrate. We're sick of retyping things and things not talking to each other. We then talked about accessibility. Wow. So hopefully there's 1, 2, 5. Hopefully there's not too many things you have to do to re-engineer your website, but at least you know where to start. You know the things you need to chip away at. So we're nearly done. I'm just going to go over a couple more slides, and then I'm going to send you on your way. So I would love some feedback, all right? I really, really would. And I know that there's people in the room today that are very busy, and I get that. But if you could, after this webinar, jump onto the following items and choose one of these. So I'm giving you several options here. You can send me an email. Hey, Tim, loved it. Maybe too hard for me. You can jump onto my Facebook. This is the big one for me, everybody. And if you could jump onto Facebook and write a quick post about today's webinar, that would mean a lot to me. Now, some of those ones in Twitter, please jump into Twitter and tweet away. You'll find me at @TimGentle. That's my Twitter handle. And if you could hashtag Think.Digital, that would be brilliant. So the big one for me is feedback. I want to keep improving. I want to be able to help you to grow your business or your organization. And I only can do that through feedback. So what's the next step? Well, I really need you to think about popping into the next webinar. So the next webinar, I'm going to be talking about search engine optimization. We're working our way around the circle, people. We're talking about Google, and we're working out how Google thinks, so then we can maximize our chances of making Google work for us. And there's a lot to learn, but I'm going to try and break it down for you to make it easy to understand. So make sure you let people know that there's plenty more webinars out there for people to enjoy. Hopefully you understand that I thoroughly enjoy delivering them, and I really want to help you as business owners, event organizers, anyone in regional, remote, or rural Australia. I'm there for you, and I really thank you for your time today. So without further ado, this is the Digital Crusader. They sometimes call me the captain, but either way, it's the captain signing out. I wanted to thank everyone for joining us, and I look forward to the next webinar. I'll catch you later. Cheers.